When selling your house, it's vital to check out what else is on the market so you can stay ahead of the competition. So I'm giving 3 sellers the chance to do just that by snooping round each other's houses.
The gate doesn't open. In the car. I like this kitchen a lot.
Today, one house is as bland as can be.
What I think you need to do is inject some colour into it.
Another is stuck in the past.
Quite dated. I didn't expect it to look like this from the outside, you know.
And one is only half done.
It's not finished, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, not finished, that's it. You've hit the nail on the head.
But they'll all get £1,000 to sort out their problems.
It's basically all hands on deck.
As they compete to win an offer from one buyer.
What are your first impressions?
I think the second one's the best.
Today, I'm in Hucknall, on the outskirts of Nottingham, where I'm helping 3 homeowners try and win an offer from my buyers, accountant George and trainee store manager Grace. Having rented for the last 6 months, they've decided to take that plunge and buy their first home together. First-time buyers embarking on your very first property together. What are you looking for in an ideal world?
We quite like a 3-bed property, quite a lot of space, nice big kitchen.
In an ideal world, would it be modern?
I think
Modern, we
and then
prefer,
sort of sleek,
yes,
yeah.
yeah.
Now, how long have you been looking for?
Probably just over a month. It's not been that long.
Not too long,
No.
but yeah.
And I know that you've looked at quite a few this weekend, haven't you?
Yeah, we looked at 6 on
6,
Saturday,
yeah.
so
Right.
Seen about
It's not-
10 in total now. I think we're quite fussy.
When you say
we're
we,
quite fussy.
is that the royal we?
Yeah.
I think so.
Probably I have quite high expectations.
I think
Maybe,
you have the final
yeah.
say.
Yeah.
Let's get cracking, shall we?
Okay.
So, sounds like Grace is the one to win over. And for that ideal modern 3-bed property in Hucknall, they have a budget of 200 grand. George and Grace's comfortable budget of £200,000 will give them plenty of options here in Hucknall. I found 3 properties that match their wish list and will give them money left over in their kitty. But to be honest, all 3 of them could do with a new look before I take them to view them, because first impressions are the ones that matter. My first seller is makeup artist Claire Michalski and her brother John, who's helping her sell up. Claire bought this house to renovate and sell with her ex-boyfriend, but after they split, the house has never been finished.
When I first got the house, it needed a lot of work doing. That's why I wanted it, though. It was a big project. Now, it doesn't really look neither here nor there.
No, it's sort of halfway between lived in and not lived in. It's not fully furnished, but it's not furnished either.
No.
Although the house needs work, she definitely knows what style she likes, and brother John's not getting a say.
Style-wise, I prefer things that they've got a story behind them, whereas you like things that are brand new and...
Yeah, I don't mind
very
that too
different.
much. It's, I mean, obviously, I haven't got an awful lot of say-so on it with it being your house, so...
So you're the grafter and I'm the one that tells.
Yeah, cracks the whip.
Watch out, John. Claire's 3-bed, half-renovated home would be perfect for buyers George and Grace. It has ample parking and is close to the town centre and is on the market at £140,000. My next eager seller is hotel assistant manager Dave Bates and his daughter Lauren. Dave has emptied his house ready to sell up and moved to Sunderland with girlfriend Karen, but with not much luck.
We got his house and we moved a lot of the things out, so it became nearly an empty house, which for me is lovely when showing people around because they can see the space. And we seem to have hit a sticking point as to exactly where we go with it. You know, do we bulldoze it, just sell the land, or do we... I'm not sure.
Let's hope it doesn't come to that. Although the house is empty, Dave and girlfriend Karen have different styles.
We are different. This
How would you describe Karen's style?
Kind of more bohemian, I think. She likes kind of dark colours where I like light colours. I like the kind of brighter colours, I think, I'm more drawn to.
Yeah.
Dave's 3-bed empty semi has country views at the rear and a large kitchen buyer Grace will love. It's the most expensive of the 3 at £147,000. Finally, my third seller is recruitment consultant Claire Gadsby and her father Peter. Claire's selling her childhood house, where she now lives on her own.
I mean, obviously, the house holds a lot of memories for us. It's a family house. We're at a stage where it's more viable and more sensible for us to sell it.
The house has been well lived in and well loved, but Claire and Pete are aware that there's work to do to get the house sold.
I like quite clean, straight lines. As much as I am a bit of a hoarder, there's quite a bit of clutter in this place.
I'm not into sort of too brighter colours, you know, but I don't mind breaking the neutral colours up with something a little bit more brighter.
Claire's three-bedroom dated extended house has a garage and no onward chain. It's on the market at 140 grand. So it's Claire Michalski in her half-renovated house, Dave in his empty modern three-bed, and Claire Gadsby in her dated 1940s property. I'm giving the owners the chance to look around each other's properties and hopefully they will pick up some ideas on how to make changes to their own homes in order to get that sale. Let the snooping commence, and it's Claire Michalski's half-renovated home first. Claire has put in a lot of work restoring her potentially lovely 1930s semi, but it appears that she has run out of steam and the job is only half finished. She needs to muster all the energy that she can to turn this house into something that prospective buyers will fall in love with. First to arrive is Dave and daughter Lauren.
The style's nice. I do like the style. But on a negative thought is that kind of conservatory porch thing. Porch doesn't quite look right, does it?
It needs a bit doing on the outside.
Yeah, it's nice enough.
Yeah.
I would prefer the kitchen we've got to this one. I'd change the colour of the walls and that bubbly effect.
Yeah.
The kitchen is disappointing, whilst the two living rooms are just confusing.
So you'd have thought that maybe that were living room.
Yeah.
But then this. I'd make that into a dining room,
OK.
to be honest.
And have this as a private living room?
Yeah, yeah.
Upstairs.
It's nice and clean and bright. I think my room is, compared to this, is probably a bit cluttered.
Well spotted, Claire.
Get in the car.
Oh, Dave, this house needs restoring, not destroying. Time to reveal the price of £140,000.
Oh, wow.
I thought it'd be in the same price bracket.
But it is quite bigger. It's quite a lot bigger. Because there isn't any clutter or signs of living in here, you get to see the size maybe a bit more of the rooms and whatnot.
So, can I pay by debit card?
Well, Dave seems impressed and Claire has learnt her house could do with a good declutter. And it's her house we're at next. Claire obviously has some deep emotional ties to this three-bed semi. It is her family home after all, but some of the areas are beginning to look a bit tired. And although she's ready to move on, unless she can update them, I'm worried the property will hold her back. Which way does it go?
It's a gate. Claire.
Not a great start if they can't get in.
The gate doesn't open.
Well done, John.
Right, maybe that would be something that I'd look to change.
Maybe we'd fix the gate a little.
Once inside,
It's quite dated, isn't it? I didn't expect it to look like this from the outside, you know.
It's not got a wow factor. That's what I'm feeling as I walk in.
onto the kitchen. And while Dave is unimpressed, Claire's feeling inspired.
And the big crack here, that needs... Straight away, my eyes are drawn to that.
Although I wouldn't choose this colour, sort of yellowy colour.
Nice and light
it's
again.
It's nice. I mean, compared to mine, it's blue and cold.
Upstairs in the bedroom.
For me, it feels a bit dark, I think.
And a bit plain, just freshen it up,
Just
wouldn't it?
declutter shelves. That's what we did at our place.
You took decluttering to a whole new level, Dave.
It's a good space though.
Yeah, it's a nice sized room.
It is a nice sized room.
It's not nice on the eye, is it?
Well, this is nice and bright.
Yeah.
Compared to other ones.
Straight away, I like that.
Yeah.
With the curtains, that's lovely. Because it's like coordinating, isn't it?
Yeah.
Who needs Lawrence Llewellyn when you've got Dave? And for £140,000.
As it is, I wouldn't pay 140 for it, I think.
140?
I know that I'm like acting shocked because my house needs loads of work.
Yeah.
I wouldn't pay that for this, would you?
I don't think I would, no.
So both sellers think it's not worth the money, but I'm glad Claire has realised her kitchen could do with some cheering up. Last to be judged is Dave's. This is one of those really tricky situations. Dave and his girlfriend Karen have already bought a new property up in Sunderland. She's moved up there to start their new life, and Dave is left with the unenviable task of having to try and sell this property. The trouble is, it's been on the market for over a year, and they've had nearly 50 viewings, so something clearly isn't working.
It's nice, isn't it?
Very nice. There's nice houses next to it, so...
Yeah, always
quite
look at the
inviting.
houses next to it.
Yeah.
Let's just focus on this house.
This is nice. I like it. I really like it.
Flipping heck, yes.
It's a nice space.
Well opened out, isn't it?
Not...
That carpet made
Oh,
me laugh.
wow. Yeah, I just didn't notice that at first. That's not really my cup of tea, but...
Claire and Dad Pete are excited in the kitchen.
I like this kitchen a lot.
yes, that's nice,
This
yes.
is really nice.
Yeah.
If I had the time and money to do this to our kitchen, I would do something quite similar. Yeah.
Luckily, you'll have time and money, Claire.
It's finished off. The kitchen's finished off for starters, and
Yeah. It looks a lot newer than what's in your place.
Upstairs in the master bedroom,
well, look at that view. It's nice.
Oh, gorgeous.
I can imagine a bed being in here. I know sometimes it's hard for people to imagine, especially if they've got furniture, and where they put things if there's nothing to like work with.
maybe you can, but
I'm just trying to picture now how
bed.
if you had a bed in here,
Couldn't have
it would be a double.
anything more than a double.
No.
yeah, maybe some furniture is a good idea. And next door is another letdown.
But I do think that them putting a double bed in there would save a lot of disappointment when you walked in here.
Yeah.
Because we was expecting a lot more.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I thought this would be the master bedroom at the front.
This house is the most expensive at £147,000.
Purely because of the size, I think it might be slightly overpriced.
Yeah.
If they dropped it to 140, it'd go like that.
I can see why it's a bit more than mine. Could come in and live in it comfortably, whereas in my house you'd have to put carpet down and things.
Yes, there is that small detail. Whilst one Claire thinks it's overpriced, at least both have realised their kitchens need work. I'm in Hucknall, just outside Nottingham, where my buyers Grace and George are looking to get out of rented accommodation and buy their first home together. And it's pretty clear who I've got to please.
One of us is very picky, and I'm laid back, to be honest, as long as it's got a roof. You're
But I
quite...
have to like it, yes.
I've lined up 3 homes for Grace and George to view. Each homeowner has had the chance to snoop round each other's houses and see how they can improve their own to get ahead of the competition.
I think with ours, it's 90% empty. I guess we could try and create a bit of a wow factor for each room, I would think.
We need to rethink the price of our property and lower that slightly.
If we improve it, it's going to be too high.
I don't know.
I suppose it could be competition, but then there's enough people to go around.
Yeah.
Don't be too complacent, Claire. Your house hasn't sold yet. But at least she has an idea that her kitchen needs work after checking out the competition.
What do you think this kitchen says to anybody walking in?
It needs doing up.
Yeah, it's not finished, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, not finished, that's it. You've hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
All the people that are buying this as a first-time purchase and don't have the money to do it up, try and think of them. Try and think of the people that would literally have to move in here and start living.
Yeah.
I would be tempted to do wooden worktops, like an olive green or a really warm green on the
Something
walls.
just to warm it all up.
Yeah, and then some lovely, you know, those wonderful metro tiles that you can get that are very modern and very contemporary. Put those up instead of the ones that you've got.
We'll have a good go.
The thing is, if someone says the word challenge to me, I go for it.
Well, here comes challenge number 2. On to the 2 downstairs living rooms.
That's your living room, all sorted, lovely, lots of cushions, etc., etc. Make this the dining room.
Yeah.
All of this furniture has to go.
Yeah.
And then what you need is a dining table.
Our father owns a furniture shop, so I think we'll be pulling in a few things.
Yeah, exactly.
Your dad owns a furniture shop. Dad, can I borrow a dining room table
So we'll
and
probably
chairs?
do that for a little bit.
Yeah, something like that would be perfect in here. So take that wallpaper that you've got there, and I would do the whole of the downstairs in those kind
Sort
of
of like
earthy,
theme.
subtle tones. This wall is maybe think about a couple of interesting little quirky features I've seen recently. You can get, if you think about the old drawers that you get in chests of drawers and things, you can line them and actually stick them on the wall.
Yeah, I've seen that. It looks really good.
Doesn't it? It's brilliant. And if you maybe had sort of 3 of them, sort of quite an original...
People put like candles and stuff in them, don't they? Yeah, it looks
candles,
really
books. But I think you'll transform it. I think it will look fantastic.
Yeah, I'm super excited.
Yeah. First stop, your dad's shop.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Before I go, I've got a few ideas to inspire Claire and John.
I think one of the good things to do if you have a period house is use the colours of that period to decorate your property with. And one of the things that you found in the sort of Edwardian Art Deco period was that it was the start of the modern paint technology. So they went a bit crazy and they went for kind of turquoises and lots of deep greens. And then in the other end of the palette, they went for sort of tinted neutrals and sort of soft pastels. Yeah. Doing something like this is always a good idea. For example, I mean, I think this one's lovely. And then actually, I really like this colour as well. And then put that on the wall.
Yeah, that would look nice.
Can you see?
See what it's going to be.
Yeah, and then but play around with it. So, you know, if you didn't like that one, think, oh, I know, let's try that. I mean, are any of these colours sort of leaping out at you?
Pretty much the ones you chose, I think.
Yeah, I know my onions. This is such a great house with such enormous potential, but at the moment it just feels really unloved and neglected. The good thing, however, is that Claire and John are really on board. They seem to be up for the challenge. It is going to be a big challenge, but I think the transformation will be incredible.
I think I'm keen on everything. Maybe I'm a bit too excited. I want to do all the ideas, but so I've probably got to hold back a bit.
That's what I like to hear. First up, John removes the furniture from their soon-to-be dining room and starts painting the interior doors. A smart move to really brighten the space.
We've got to prime them first, and then we're going to paint them white, just because the wood doesn't really match anything in here, so...
And next door, Claire's dad is removing the tiles in the tired kitchen.
So we're removing the old tiles in preparation for the new ones arriving. And as soon as they're all finished and off, we're going to start retiling.
Next, I'm off to Dave's bland house, and I'm really hoping he's learnt about the use of colour.
First of all, let's talk about what you learnt from looking at the other houses.
Quite interesting to look at someone else's house, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, we discovered, like, feature walls, for example, didn't we?
Yeah.
In one of the bedrooms.
Yeah.
Spot on, Dave.
We were told time and time again by estate agents to keep it neutral, take your personal emotions out of it. So people can come in, it's a blank canvas.
I would be very tempted to turn this into my master bedroom. Okay. Because that one overlooks the road, this one overlooks fields. What you have out there is nature's canvas. You need to take all of those colours and complement it within the room. This is just to show you the sort of ideas that you can go for. It doesn't need to be crazy, you don't need to go over the top, but what I think you need to do is inject some colour into it. Up for that? Anything leaping out at you? Any colours that you think, ooh?
I like that colour.
Yeah,
you like
me too.
that colour?
I like that.
Yeah. And keep this colour in mind, because we're going to go next door now, and that's the colour that I think would work really well next door.
With colour in mind, we head to the next bland room.
Colour scheme in here, I would go for this sort of blue. Would look lovely in here. It would give it a really fresh, bright feel. How good are your painting skills?
Excellent.
I'd say good.
Yeah?
Been painting for 30 years.
Oh, well, that's perfect, man and boy.
Since I was 3.
You walk into this room, and it's because you've got a single bed in it. Instantly, you think it's a single room.
Yep.
Yeah.
It would be really good to get another double bed in here.
I would have thought you put a double bed in, there's less room for people to walk in, isn't there? It looks it won't look crowded.
We see at the moment what it looks like. I think what you need to do is you need to get a small double, and then we're going to take this bed and we're going to move it next door into the smallest room.
And next door, it's also time to banish the beige.
This, again, is obviously the box room. This is the smallest room in the house. Get rid of these shelves. It makes it feel much smaller than it is. But you could go for a wallpaper in here. How are your papering skills?
Excellent.
Are they?
Yeah.
Is he just saying that or not?
No, they are good. Mine aren't.
Keep it light, keep it simple. Put a bed here, maybe a little bedside table there. Sorted.
Yeah, got you.
You will be overlooking the sea before you know it.
Right.
Do you know, I really feel for Dave. It isn't easy being the one left behind trying to sell a house. I also think I've confused him a little bit with all of my suggestions, but hopefully Lauren is on board and she will be able to steer him in the right direction.
I'm unsure about, you know, colouring the rooms as such. So maybe we won't take the whole thing on board, but we'll take parts of it, I think.
Oh, Dave, that's not what I wanted to hear.
I think we'll definitely be able to achieve what's needed.
Yes. But initially, it's just down to me and Lauren.
Yeah.
When I go for a cup of tea, it's just Lauren.
Good luck, Lauren. But at least they seem to be looking for colour when they head to the shops.
So today we're going to look for some quite subtle colours, maybe like pastel greens and that sort of thing, because I think it were a really good idea that Amanda had.
Why, thank you, Lauren.
Lauren, come here. I've got a right idea. Amanda said to bring the outside in.
Yeah.
A big roll of this in front of it is like a rug.
Yeah, I didn't mean literally, Dave.
We need to stop messing about and get down to business. Amanda's not going to be happy with you.
Oh.
Keep in focus, Lauren.
What do you think to that?
I like that. I do like that.
It's got the colours that we're after.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's go for it then.
Yep. Yeah. I like that green.
Let's get
Go for that one.
Yep, happy with those. Good work, guys. Finally, I'm heading to Claire Gadsby's to chat about decluttering and an update, if I can get in. So, let's have a little chat, first of all, about how I got in. It was a bit like the Krypton Factor trying to get in your front gate. Does anyone ever use that front gate?
No, those in the know go around and use the driveway.
Yeah, clearly I was not in the know because it took me quite a while and the fence wobbled an awful lot.
Yes. Yeah.
So I think one of the things to tackle is the entrance. You looked at your competitors' houses. What did you learn, if anything?
One of the things that we discussed was, whereas the other two were houses, this is a home.
Yeah.
A home it may be, Pete, but I think I need to put them straight.
Let me talk about this room, because this is where I think the bulk of your £1,000 needs to go. There's a lot of stuff going on here. There's the dartboard. I've never seen a dartboard in the kitchen before, complete with all the holes underneath.
Please put my picture up there.
I love the fact that that's the history of a house. It's the same when you get, you know, the kids' heights on door frames and things.
Yeah.
For a prospective buyer coming in, seeing a whole riddled wall.
Think about that.
First thing I saw when I came in.
Yeah.
It needs stripping out. My tip would be whitewash the lot. This yellow is quite a dated colour. Yellow's a lovely, sunny, happy colour, but if you do too much of it, it tends to be a bit overpowering and a bit sickly. The mismatch of flooring as well.
Yes, I was just going to ask you about that.
All of it up.
Yes.
Laminate.
Okay,
Yeah.
all the way through?
All the way through.
Yes.
Keep it uniform. You know, the big thing is decluttering. There's a lot of stuff in this room. And by stripping it out and redoing the floor and painting it white, you'll be amazed at the difference.
That's the biggest room tackle, but I'm not quite finished.
So your bedroom. What do you think I'm going to say about it?
It needs to be decluttered, but it probably needs to look a bit lighter.
Gosh, you're like a mind reader. The thing is, it's a really good size. It just feels a bit dark. These pine units can be painted to look incredible. Just that dull, chalky, matte-coloured paint will work a treat on those. I would be tempted to paint it a sort of lovely light, a green or a blue, but it wouldn't take much to completely transform this room. It really wouldn't. She needs to package up all the knickknacks and get rid of the clutter, which will enable any potential buyer to see this house for what it is. And it really is a great family home.
I always knew that decluttering my bedroom was going to be something that I needed to do to sell it. I'm more than happy to put a bit of grey on the walls. I am taking creative control.
I shall be dog's body, taxi driver.
And with that said, the dog's body gets on with decluttering.
Get the plants out of the way first. Ah, I found the key for the French doors.
That's what happens when you tidy up. Able to see more of the space, they head to the shops for paint.
We're hoping to get a lot of the paint sorted out today, so here we are. We're really concerned about the amount we've got to do in the time frames. Get all the
Sampler pots.
Yeah.
Oh, right. You've got a paradise just there if you want to... Yeah.
I quite like that, actually.
Yeah, the water looks a bit green, doesn't it?
So we're probably going to go home with the water and the paradise for samples, chuck them on the wall, see what they're like in the morning, and then come back and get the deciding colour.
They're heavy, you know.
I can carry stuff. I do 10K weights at, what do you call it, the gym.
You tell him, Claire. 3 homeowners in Nottingham have snooped round each other's houses to check out the competition. Armed with knowledge and inspiration, they've begun to improve their homes in the hopes that first-time buyers Grace and George will make them an offer. At Claire's half-renovated house, the tired kitchen is getting a new lease of life after she spent £275 on new tiles.
I really, really do like the tiles. They were my first option, so it's all worked out well.
Dad Martin and Simon are fitting them for free.
We've been roped in. Obviously, we're working on a time limit. It's basically all hands on deck.
That's what Dads are for. Claire turns her attention to transforming the second sitting room into a dining room.
Ooh. I think I've got a bit too much paint on there.
You're not having the roller on, that's why.
Right, how'd you roll a roller?
Alright, it's done.
Thankfully, friend Simon is on hand to show her how it's done.
Even spin cut off. Who was that?
Oh, just show me one more time, Si. I've not quite got it.
Like you're thinking, Claire. At Dave's, there's more green going on to bring the outside into the master bedroom.
So the idea of the mints and that and the raspberries and that is to bring the outside in. It's a good idea, I think. Gosh, she's good, that Amanda.
Yes, I am.
Do you know I don't like it?
Oh.
Kidding.
Got me there, Dave. But girlfriend Karen's home to cast her eye.
Fine. What's your first thoughts when you see that?
First thoughts are, I'll be honest, I would never have chosen it.
Oops. At Claire Gadsby's dated house, Claire's bought white paint to cover the old yellow walls in the kitchen diner, and Dad Pete has the arduous task of doing all the work. Claire arrives to inspect.
Oh my God, it looks huge. Looks amazing.
And upstairs, it's time for the peach walls in her bedroom to go.
After much deliberation today, I have decided to brave it and go for the colour that I was most worried about.
Go on, Claire, be brave.
OK, here we go. Or maybe not. It doesn't fit.
You can't get out of painting that easily, Claire.
Right, hold on, I've got another one. Hold on 1 second.
Still not quite right.
Colour-wise, it's looking all right. The paint's actually going on OK. I'm quite happy with the colour now, would you believe?
Phew. And the painting continues over at the other Claire's house, where she's getting lessons in upcycling her interior doors.
Just get some paint on your book and then you just do that.
OK.
I'm just finished the little stripey bit.
Little Ellie's helping, so we should get it all done today. Won't we, Ellie? We'll get it all done.
Yeah, we'll get it all done.
Yes. You heard it.
We all need an Ellie at our home. Although upcycling internal doors is a great idea, after you've bought sandpaper, wood primer and gloss, it could cost up to £60. However, you can buy an internal door for as little as £30 from your local DIY store. The next day, there's bad news for Claire.
Had a bit of a disaster with them. Basically, we put the base coat on to get them ready for the gloss, and when we put the gloss on them, it just didn't go on at all well. What we've had to do is source some new ones within budget. They had to be quite cheap, but still look nice, and go grab them this morning, so it's really taken some time off of us.
Over at Dave's, the mission to bring a bit of colour to the bland interior has now moved on to wallpapering the box room.
I've watched a few people do it, so really I should know how to do it, but I don't really know how to do it, so I'm just going to try.
Luckily, Dave's on hand to help.
You see this here?
Line it up.
Yeah, that's it, you got it. Into that corner. That's the first thing you do. Slap it on with your hand. Slap.
What?
Slap. Slap it.
Why slap it?
Because it sounds good.
I think she'll slap you soon, Dave. In the second bedroom, girlfriend Karen is adding a cool blue to those boring walls.
How nice is that blue?
That's lovely, that.
And Dave gets back to finishing the wallpaper in the master bedroom.
This paper is lovely. I had a feeling it would be, you know, just looking at it on the roll.
First bit up, Dave has a well-deserved cuppa.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, I like that. It looks nice. I don't think that.
No time for sleeping on the job. Now the wallpaper's up, Karen's still not happy.
I feel like I've walked into an old lady's bedroom. That's what I feel like.
You are an older lady.
Careful, Dave. At Claire Gadsby's, the old dated kitchen diner is nearly looking new as Claire starts to rip up the mismatched flooring.
These look amazing under here. It's a shame we couldn't use it all the way through, but there's concrete over in the kitchen from the extension, so it's unlikely.
With the old flooring up, Claire has spent just under £265 on oak laminate. She's paid floor fitter Aston £250 to fit it.
Depending on the size of the room, it shouldn't take no longer than a day.
I think the flooring looks really good against the white paint. It's definitely going to open up the room more than the green on the floor, so I think it's been a good choice.
Upstairs, the bedroom has been decluttered, but she still needs to bring it into the 21st century and upcycle her pine wardrobes.
I'm so scared right now. I've never painted furniture in my life. I can't wait to see what this looks like after we've painted it all.
Nearly done. Claire's happy with the look of the wardrobes, but not so sure anymore about the blue.
I don't like it.
Oh dear. At Claire's half-finished home, she's nearly done. All that's left is my suggestions of drawer unit shelving in the new dining room.
Really excited about how it's going to all look in the end. I think they'll look really, really pretty. There.
Yeah, it's the first time I've ever put drawers on a wall.
Lastly, she put some wallpaper in the back of the drawers.
So that's all done now. I'm really happy with it.
Claire's house was a confused space with 2 sitting rooms, but she's worked hard to transform one into a boutique-style dining room.
It looks great. It really does. Didn't go down the feature wallpaper route.
No.
Pourquoi, as they say over the channel.
I didn't know how to wallpaper. I was stressed enough putting wallpaper in them drawers, never mind a whole wall. And I've watched my dad wallpaper before. It's not a pretty sight.
You know what? Just by painting it a different colour has made it stand out.
The kitchen was tired and dated, but by simply changing the tiles and adding a fresh coat of paint, it looks spanking new. But I have to say, it's a shame the floor hasn't been touched.
These tiles have made such a difference.
I know, a massive difference.
Do you like them?
Yeah, I really, really like them. And in fact, my sister's going to actually have these tiles in her kitchen.
And change the colour on the walls. The things that haven't changed, worktop and flooring, for what reason? Was that a cost thing? Was that a time thing?
It was both time and budget, yeah.
What it has done, however, because you've chosen the tiles, the colour that you've chosen them, it actually blends really well with the worktop now, and doesn't make it look as sort of tired and dated as it did before.
Yeah.
Can you see the difference?
Yeah, I can see a massive difference. I mean, if I was to stay out, I'd do so much more, and I'd do everything that you advised, but, you know, with limited time and budget, I think it's made a huge difference.
I think it looks great.
Back at Dave's bland home, he's bought a bed from a local charity shop for the new master bedroom. And it seems Karen's slowly coming round to the new country feel.
I think once we finally get it together, I think once the bed's dressed, the curtains are up, I think it will all complement each other and it will come together even though it's not my personal taste.
A week ago, Dave's master bedroom was bland, boring and lacked a homely touch. By spending £260 on decoration and adding that country feel from the outside to in, it's got colour and warmth in abundance.
It's a completely different room. You have done wonders. Do you like it?
Yeah,
I like
we do
it.
like
Yeah,
it. Yeah,
I like it a lot, yeah.
Yep.
You look out there now at that beautiful view, and then you look here and it's like, it's a proper bedroom.
The second bedroom was as bland as the master, but with just £215 spent adding an injection of colour, it's now much more appealing.
Lovely. Having that double bed in here now, like we were all saying last week, you walk in, you go, oh, it's a double bedroom, as opposed to, oh, it's a single bedroom.
Yeah.
And how come you didn't go all the way around the room with that? Because I think that's such a lovely colour. Did you just run out of time, inclination?
Well, we sort of left this room to Karen.
Ah, blaming Karen as she's not here. The box room was boring and cold, but for £19 per roll, the bold wallpaper has given it some real character.
Your one next door, I love it.
I was quite pleased with it. It was a small enough wall to do for my first time.
But bold and bright and does what it says on the tin. I think you've done wonders, I really do. And I think like this, it will fly, it really will.
At Claire's dated house, the outside fence is finally having an overhaul. Inside, Claire and Pete are putting the finishing touches to the kitchen.
It's been really stressful.
It's been a lot of hard graft, a lot of stress.
I suppose one thing that's come out of this is the fact that my painting skills have definitely improved. I can paint a wall rather than myself now.
Her kitchen diner was a bit tired with a sickly yellow colour on the walls. With a whitewash and new laminate flooring, she spent £635 creating a fabulous family hub for this house.
Massive transformation, isn't it?
Yeah.
And just the little spaces like that, like the little seating area there, it's defined the zones now, and the flooring is a triumph. Well, you've done a brilliant job, so well done, the pair of you. Yeah, major pats on backs. Now you know.
Thank you.
Claire's bedroom was full to the brim with clutter, but cleared out and painted a deep blue. With the wardrobes upcycled, you'd hardly recognise the place.
It's a different bedroom.
I know.
It's not a student bedroom anymore. I know. It's all grown up. I know we had a major wobble with the paint colour, didn't we?
I thought this one was quite light and less in your face. And the more paint I put on, the more I realised that wasn't the case.
The more in your face it was.
Yeah, exactly, and on me. But yeah, then I tried to picture it with how I was going to paint the wardrobes and whatnot, and persevered. I'm glad I did.
It is a bright colour, but that's what this room needed, because before it was very dark and you had the kind of burgundies and the sort of black bedspread. It made it feel so much smaller than it actually is.
We got there in the end.
It certainly did, yes.
I bet you could do with sleep.
I suffered white out with painting all the downstairs.
I'm in Nottingham, where my buyers Grace and George are looking for their first home together. They're after a 3-bedroom modern house and have a budget of £200,000. All 3 sellers have worked tirelessly to improve their homes in the hope of gaining that offer. Claire and her brother John have made the house feel fully finished.
I think we got to the end result that we wanted, near enough. A few bumps, but who doesn't have a few bumps along the way?
Yeah, exactly.
Dave, with the help of daughter Lauren and girlfriend Karen, has injected colour and life to the bedrooms.
I think considering the time and the money, we've done really, really well.
And Claire and her dad Pete have updated her childhood home.
It's been a waking nightmare at times, but it's definitely been worth it.
With all the houses dressed to impress, it's time for Grace and George to cast their vote. First, I'm starting at Dave's house. So this is the first property that you're going to be seeing. It's got the 3 beds you've asked for and the big swish kitchen. What are your first impressions?
Yes, quite nice.
It's got a nice driveway, enough for 2 cars.
Well, let's get inside and see whether it matches the requirements. You lead the way, guys.
Inside, the modern kitchen leads onto a large sitting room.
Size-wise, good, bad, what you wanted?
That's a good size, yeah.
It's nice,
it is a good size.
Could you start planning where you'd put everything?
I think so. It's kind of hard when there's not stuff in there. Definitely more than enough room.
Upstairs is the newly decorated country retreat master bedroom.
So what you have with this house is 2 good double-sized bedrooms and then one which I've designated as your office.
A study.
But look at the views. That's the thing, you guys.
Nice.
That's nice, yeah.
Style-wise, would you change much? Is there anything... Do you know?
I was going to say, I'm not a fan of the green.
I like the
but that's
wallpaper.
That's all right. Yeah.
OK. Let's keep looking round and we'll see see what you think when you get to the rest of it.
Across the hall is the now revamped 2nd bedroom.
Size-wise here?
Yeah,
Again, a good size, yeah.
Bigger than others we've seen.
What do you think this one is on the market at?
135.
OK. George?
Maybe 140, 145.
147. So George is closer. And how does it compare to the 10 that you've seen?
I think we've seen nicer ones for not much more.
Yeah.
All right. So it's not completely floating the boat, but we're not completely dismissed.
Yeah.
2 more to go. Would you care to lead the way?
Workable won't do it for me. Next, I'm on to Claire Michalski's newly revamped house. So this is the grown-up house. I think this has got bags of charm and character, but it does need a bit of work.
OK.
Your first initial impressions?
The area's nice, neighbourhood's nice. Not keen on the porch.
No.
You change the porch and I think it's a very nice house.
Yeah. First stop inside, the newly updated kitchen.
So here's your kitchen.
It's nice, yeah.
Size-wise?
Yeah, good.
Yeah, it's good size.
Yeah. But I mean, Grace, I think you're the tougher nut to crack. What are you thinking about this general vibe so far?
Yeah, no, it's nice. There's plenty of space. The area's nice.
This is sounding good. On to the dining room.
So here you have what they use at the moment as a dining room.
There's loads of room here, isn't there? There's more than enough room.
So on the feel-good barometer, is this house going up the barometer or down the barometer?
No, it's definitely going up.
Okay,
really like
good.
what I'm seeing. Yeah, it's nice.
Leading from the dining room is the family-sized sitting room.
Let's come on in and see what you think. What do you reckon?
Yes, really
I
nice.
like it, yeah.
How much do you think this one is on the market for?
135.
Okay.
I'll say 1.3.
Okay.
Just because of the work that needs to
You're
do.
both a tad under, it's 140. But even at 140, let's say they stuck for the asking price at 140, you've got £60,000 left in your budget.
Yeah.
Right, well, let's continue, because you've still got one more to look at.
It's clear this house is the favourite so far, but I've still got Claire Gadsby's updated house to show them before they make a decision. So last, but by no means least, this is the property you're going to be seeing. What are your first impressions?
Yeah, it's nice, yeah.
Nice area, yeah.
I think I like this one the best so far.
Ah, you do? OK.
I think the second one's the best.
Ah,
Apart
interesting.
from the little pit porch
Apart from the
beyond the
porch.
front.
Took the porch down, yours is the second, yours is this one. This could be fun. As Grace is the decision maker, I'm really hoping she'll stay with that thought on the inside. The ground floor has a reception room leading to the newly spruced kitchen diner.
So kitchen, diner, chill-out room. I don't know what you'd use this space for.
It's big, isn't it?
I don't know, but yeah, it's a lot of room, so...
What do you think?
It's nice, actually, yeah.
And you've obviously got, over there, you've got a breakfast bar area as well, because I know, I guess, are you at that point of entertaining and dinner parties and all that sort of grown-up stuff yet, or is it still party, party, party?
No, I think we'd like to.
We'd like to, yeah.
Okay, well, there's your perfect
There you go.
excuse. There's your
That's it.
dining table, and that's your breakfast bar for when it's just the two of you. Well, should we have a little look upstairs as well and see what you think about the upstairs?
Yeah.
Upstairs, along with 2 other bedrooms, is Claire's smartened and decluttered room.
So again, you've got your required 3 bedrooms. The office is in the front. There's the biggest bedroom at the front, and this, I guess, would be guest bedroom or even possibly your bedroom because it's at the back of the house, so it's nice and quiet.
so it'd be out of the way.
Quite big, isn't it?
Yeah, what do you think?
It's nice.
It's nice.
I like it, yeah.
So do you think, having seen these 3, you're coming round to the older style of property or not?
I'd say so. I think we've definitely got a more open mind now, don't we?
I think so. We just need to decide how much work we're prepared to do.
There's how
Well,
much is a
something
good
like
level of work?
this or the second property we saw. It's quite a big difference.
Yeah. Price-wise with this one, would you hazard a guess?
I'd say 140 based on the other one.
Yeah, I would agree. Maybe a bit more. Maybe 145.
140. Bingo.
140.
Shame you can't
There
get it
you
because
go.
you've guessed the price. But you can't. But 140. But again, think about it. 60 grand. 60 grand, you could put a brand new kitchen in, you could redo the bathroom, you could strip it all out. Even if you spent 30 grand on this house, which would turn it into a palace, you'd still have change. Shall we adjourn and have a little think about it? OK, go on.
I think we can safely rule out Dave's new build. But with George liking Claire Michalski's renovated house and Grace liking Claire Gadsby's updated semi, who will win?
So, guys, a really interesting day. 3 quite similar properties.
Well, you've definitely given us more to think about on being a bit more open-minded.
So that leaves us with the 1930s semi that you liked, George, and the house with the open-plan kitchen that you liked, Grace. What are you going to do about those 2?
I think the 1930s one, I think for me, It's too
I
much
think
work.
it is a bit.
So that just leaves the one with the open plan kitchen. Will you go back and have another look at it?
It's definitely worth consideration.
Yeah, I think it's on our list of potential ones, isn't it? To go back and view.
Interesting times. Get those feet on that rung quickly. And good luck with it, because I'm sure you'll have a whole career ahead of you of buying and selling properties, but this is the very first step, isn't it? So good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
George and Grace decided not to go back for another visit, but Claire's pleased her hard work had been worth it.
Been all worth it then?
Yeah. Definitely. Oh, I'm going to treat myself to a beer.
Sadly, the others were not best pleased.
There'll be another person. I want the right person to have the house.
Yeah,
because
definitely.
I love the house and I want someone else to want it as much as I wanted it when I saw it.
I feel quite disappointed that they're not coming back for a second viewing. They put quite a lot into it, I'll be honest.
Dave's glumness doesn't last long, as a few days later, there's good news.
We've had an offer on the property for $145,000, which was accepted, Bedley, and we're onward and upward to Sunderland.